Hey everyone, this is Kai, MVP intern at WZHP Radio Innsmouth. Tonight we'll be running Chapter 10 of Spores, as well as a little something extra to make up for the relative shortness of the feature. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy the show.
Diagnosing fault error. Orbital degradation, 17%. Corrective maneuvers failed. Nuclear fuel expended. Communications link failed. Scanning. No viable signals detected. No life signs detected. Established secondary uplink failure. Repeating transmission.
This is Major Jonathan Stewart, formerly of the United States Army. It is December 18th, 2059. This message has been set to repeat for as long as the power holds out. I am the last survivor of this fallout shelter, and as far as I know, humanity. I've been underground for 33 years. What the Shrek disease did not kill, disease, suicide, murder, old age, and famine managed to finish off what was left of our people hiding underground. Our last scans show the surface, our home, has been rotted by this plague. The Shrek first eliminated all animal life, then plant life. What life remained in the seas limped on for several years, until the climate shift rendered the surface a frozen wasteland. The seas froze. The land became nothing but black desert whose sands were death incarnate. This is the final message of our race. If you have come to this planet in search of our people, or for exploration, do not land. There is nothing on this planet but death. Do not land here. God save us all.
General scans complete. No radiation, thermal, optical results. Logic fault override. Scanning thermal surface imprint. Surface temperature at negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Orbital degradation 17.1%. Maneuvering thrusters fail. Nuclear fuel expended. Broad sweep scan initiated. No electromagnetic signals detected. Logic fault sustained. System rebooted. LESCOM nuclear satellite systems reinitiated. Verifying launch date 2015/12/20. Verifying current date. Current date timestamp 2123/06/01. System diagnosis. Error. Orbital degradation 17.2%. Corrective maneuvering thrusters failed. Nuclear fuel expended. Communications link failed. Scanning initiated.
You have one new message. First message.
Hey, Shar. It's Tim. I don't know if I'm gonna make it home tonight, baby. I don't know how to have this conversation, so I'll just do my best. So, I stopped off at Clanahan's after work. Have a couple with the guys, and I didn't drink too much. I only had one, and then I sat for a couple hours to get it out of my system. You know me, I can handle my liquor, I'm okay. But, I know this is going to be hard, but just bear with me. I was on my way home, and I didn't see the crash happen. I just saw the aftermath. I saw this woman's car off the side of the road, just engulfed in flames. There wasn't a lot of people going down it at the time, so I stopped, and I saw someone inside. This woman thrashing around in the driver's seat, and I saw a little girl in the back seat turn around looking at me. So I ran up to the car, and it was, God, the flames were so hot. And I kept trying. I had to get her out. I had to get the lady and her kid out. And I get up there, and the flames are just blowing up the side. And the woman, she's bloody, but she's there. And she just looks at me, and she's screaming at me. And I can just hear her through the glass and over the sound. And she's saying, "It's too late. Don't worry about me. It's too late for me." And I couldn't get the car doors on that side open, so I ran around to the other side. And when I got around, the woman was dead. I mean, she was strewn across the seat, like her head twisted. But it didn't fully register at the time because the little girl was in the back seat, and she was just glaring, like staring at me so hard. And I felt this voice in the back of my head screaming, like there was somebody screaming that I had to get her out. And there was something else in me screaming that I had to get away. And I went over to the back passenger side, and I grabbed the door and I tried to pull it open, and it was locked. And I kept fighting it, and I couldn't get it open, and she's just staring at me, and the flames were so hot. And I slammed my fist into the window over and over again, and I couldn't break the glass. And then I scrambled around, and I grabbed this rock, and I hefted it up, and I smashed the window as hard as I could, and it spread glass. And then there was this rush of flame as the heat and everything just flushed out the window at me, and I had to pull back, and someone grabbed me and dragged me back from the car. And I remember screaming, no, she's still inside, she's still inside. And I couldn't have been more than 20 feet away when it just went up in a rush. It was just, the fire was everywhere. And that little girl was still in there, and she was just smiling at me. Just these eyes that were too wide, and this grin that was just wrong. And I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, I was sitting on the side of the road, and there was a fire truck, and they were hosing the car out, and there's this cop who pulled me away. And he was asking me if I knew who she was, and I said, no, I just saw the accident. I couldn't get her out. Oh, I couldn't get her or the little girl out. And the officer stopped me, and he goes,
what are you talking about? And I said, the girl in the back seat, she was there. And he said, there's nobody else there. There's no one inside. And they got the flames out. And I went over and I hazarded a look at the car. And there was no child seat in the back seat. There was no toys, no food, none of the things that scream, there's a kid in my car. But I could have sworn she was there. And the cop was starting to look at me weird, and I didn't want him to give me a breathalyzer or something, because I wasn't drunk. But God, I didn't want him to test me, so I just got out of there. And I got in the car and I started driving. And I looked up at the rear view. And that little girl's in the back seat right now, just grinning at me. Just staring. And I've done something horrible. And I don't look. She's had me driving. I can't stop. And she just keeps driving me around. She's looking for something. And I don't know what, but I know it's not okay. So look, if they call you, if someone calls you, or don't come looking for me, okay? Just stay at home. I don't care what anyone calls or says, or what you see, or what you hear, or what you think. Just stay home, okay? I don't want this to happen to you. It's too late for me. It's too late for me. I'm so sorry. I love you. I love you so much, baby. I love you so much.
End of new messages. Stories from Dark Places was recorded before an imaginary studio audience. All stories performed on this podcast have express written consent from the original author. Jonas Armitage, his studio manager, and the entire staff of WZHP Radio Innsmouth are fictitious characters, and it's probably for the best that you continue to believe that.